we've got a crazy AFC South matchup here in Week 13 as the Indianapolis Colts fly on down to Nashville to take on Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Both of these teams have played already this year, with the Colts winning at home 23-16 in Week 5. So this is going to be a phenomenal game. It was a very close back and forth game here. Tannehill was the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So it'll be interesting to see how Will Levis does and if there's anything, any different flavor, so to say, that he can bring to the team here. But Colts are currently right now sitting at the number 7 seed in the AFC playoff wildcard hunt, while the Titans are 4-7, and if they want any shot of making the playoffs, they have to win this game and hope that a lot of teams start to lose as well in front of them. But it's looking like they're probably going to have a top 8 pick. I'm going to say a top 5, top 8 pick here, continuing on this trend. So I want to throw it over to you first, Ryan, especially to now the ball's been handed over to Will Levis as well. And I think that they're doing the right thing, especially to considering where they might end up in the draft if things just keep getting worse and worse. And if your Patriots start to win games, if the Cardinals and Panthers start to win games, I think they're doing the right thing to really giving Levis the shot to see if he is going to be the guy. I think we've seen correct things from him from a young rookie quarterback. But at the same time, though, if you're picking first overall, you do have Caleb Williams. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how do you think of the Titans so far this season? What are some areas you think that they need to improve on in the offseason? And what shots do you think that they have this week against the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, so first off, I do slightly disagree that if they're that – one, I don't think they'll be that high. Two, I think you have to give Will Levis another chance and kind of build around him, especially if you're that GM. It is career suicide to take a guy at 34, I believe, and then
take 3 quarterbacks in 3 consecutive seasons.
yeah, exactly. And then
well, it's not like the Titans have made poor draft day decisions in the past. So
oh no, like you mean trading AJ Brown for the 18th and 104 and taking Treylon Burks with that?
Yeah.
That was a great decision. Anyways, clearly being facetious. My fiance loves that word facetious. So Abby, if you're watching this, that one was
the whole internet knows now what your favorite word is.
She just makes fun of me because she's like, "Are you being facetious?" So, anyways, we got way off topic. But for me, I think if the Titans are going to come in and win this game, they're going to have to come in and run the ball and really kind of control the clock and wear down this Colts defense. They have the 8th best rushing defense in the NFL. That defense is headed up by DeForest Buckner, one of the best interior linemen, or not interior defensive linemen in the league in both the passing and rushing facets of the game. So I really like what the Colts have on the defensive side of the ball, and I think if the Titans are going to win, they're going to have to come in and kind of start running the ball down the Colts' throats a little bit, and that I think would open up things for Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins in the passing game, get some play action going, and really kind of stymie this Colts defense. And with that being said, they need to take advantage of some of the Gardner Minshew mistakes, because Gardner Minshew is an all or nothing style quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if you catch him on when he's playing well, he can play like one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. It's just he also has those blunders where it's like, okay, how is this guy still getting opportunities in the NFL? Because, I mean, frankly, the game against New England was absolutely atrocious. And like he had that game, and then he had the Cleveland game where he threw for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And like those that was 4 weeks apart.
Like, yeah, he had several turnovers though, like bad turnovers in that Cleveland game. But
he did.
Yeah. See your point though.
Yeah. And so it's like that to me, they need to take advantage of that and then try to limit the big plays on offense, because Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Mo Cox, then you have, that doesn't even include the running backs and Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. I almost said Zach Taylor. That's a different player. So like that for me, I think this Titans team, they have a pretty hefty task on their hands. I think they're fairly heavily outmanned in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing to me, and this is where I think the Colts, I think, have the overall advantage, and where the Titans really need to excel to be successful. And every team, but the Titans specifically, is just going to be overall in the trenches. Colts have one of the better offensive lines in the league so far this year. Titans have a good defensive line, but what I'm saying is normally Titans defensive line has given opportunities to a weaker Titan secondary by getting good pressure on them, making the offense uncomfortable, getting the quarterback quickly, stopping the run. But the Colts are able to kind of mitigate that defensive attack, with allowing Gardner Minshew to and the passing offense to slowly just kind of pick apart a much weaker secondary in Tennessee. On the flip side, Colts have one of the better defensive fronts in the league as well. But the Titans, they have been struggling a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. Titans have given up 36 sacks so far in the season. Colts have 36 sacks so far in the season, both of which are in the top. Well, one's in the top for good reason, one's in the top for bad reason.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys figure out which one is which. And that, to me, I think is going to be the kind of the key differentiator at the end of the game. Titans, they need to have a much more run heavy and be much more effective in the running game. But because of that weakness on the offensive side, they're only 23rd overall in total rushing yards so far in the season, just over 1,100 through 11 games. And that's not the formula for success, I think, for this Titans offense, especially with a rookie quarterback. And you really only have DeAndre Hopkins. Treylon Burks has been hurt and has been out for a little while since that concussion he received that he had against, I believe it was the Steelers on the Thursday Night Football game. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but I haven't seen him play or don't remember seeing him play. So correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, please. But it just limits the amount of weapons that the Titans have to try and be effective. Then with a weaker offensive line and a good defensive front that could provide some good pressure, just makes it tough, I think, for them to be consistent on offense. And that's really, as I think, been the issue for Will Levis so far over these past couple of weeks since he played the Atlanta Falcons. It's had that amazing 4-touchdown game. Defenses have been able to put good pressure on him. He hasn't been able to be, as explosive or kind of manipulate the defense as he was able to against the Falcons in his first start. And I think a lot of that does have to do, they're sending good pressure on him, not giving him time to kind of sit back there, kind of use his cannon of an arm to pick apart a defense, making him kind of go through the pains of being a rookie quarterback. I think that's what the Colts are going to be able to do against them this week. And at the same time, Colts offensively, they just have more weapons. Going from Jonathan Taylor, then Zach Moss also had a good year. Josh Downs has turned into a star. Michael Pittman's already a star. So then they still have a good tight end by committee, I would say, with Kylan Granson, then all the way to Mo Alley Cox as well. Pretty sure Kylan Granson's still on the team.
Yeah, he is. I believe.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Just for a weird second, I thought he wasn't on there. So it's going to be a fascinating game. Whenever these two teams play, I've always enjoyed the game because I feel like they play pretty similarly when fully healthy. They both have they try to run the ball down your throat, which they're going to open up opportunities in the passing game. And I think having a guy like Josh Downs makes the passing game for the Colts a little bit more dynamic compared to in recent past. So I think that's going to be another huge help for the Colts as well, in my opinion. So let's move on to our predictions, though, here. But before we do that, if you have not already, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan and I, we have a fun goal, our last goal for the season. Can't believe we actually are able to do this. But if we get to 2,333 subscribers, we would have gotten 2,000 subscribers to our new community on the YouTube channel this year. All thanks to you guys. So any help is greatly appreciated. So subscribe, and help us reach our goal of 2,333. And Ryan, I want to throw it over to you. Who do you think is going to win this game and why?
Yeah, so if it hasn't been obvious, I think through this conversation, I'm going with the Colts. I just think they're the better team. The Titans are, I think, entering a rebuilding phase, and I think they're trying to figure out what they have in Will Levis. And I think that is going to carry over into next season. But hopefully, midway through next season, we'll have an answer for them, and then they can go one of two ways. They can trade up in the first round and potentially get a quarterback in 2025, or they can continue to try and build and maybe get a bridge quarterback through free agency or trade for something. But it is kind of sad, I think, for the Titans. Just this Derrick Henry is 28 going on 29. We all know that big 3-0 is a horrible number for running backs. and no running back is ever really the same at that point. So this is kind of I think the last hurrah for this era of the Tennessee Titans, and I think it's going to fizzle out here this year.
Yeah. No, they were trying to run it back, I think, one more time, and then you got DeAndre Hopkins, but it just has not been the same. As just everybody's getting a little bit older, offensive linemen have moved on. They've been dealing with some major injuries, and so I'm also going to go with the Colts as well here. I think I've kind of already stated my point why I think they're going to win the game anyways, but I want to talk a little bit about the Titans of the draft here. And I know I mentioned earlier potentially getting like the number one. I agree with you. I was just saying that kind of as a question. I don't think they're going to get to number one, or they maybe could get to the top 5, but with 4 wins, it's going to be very interesting to see. And there's some pretty bad teams in front of them. And so that'll just be something to watch here. But I definitely do believe that they're going to be entering a rebuilding season, or rebuilding after this season. I really like Mike Vrabel. I don't think he's on the chopping block. I mean, considering the fact of like where he put the team at last year, with how horrible that team was last year, they had a meaningful game in Week 18. This year just hasn't been the same success, obviously, with the offense now putting in a new rookie quarterback. So I hope he stays. I think that would be very interesting. Or if he goes to college, goes to Ohio State, I think that would also be interesting as well. But that's a separate conversation. So it will be interesting to see a rebuilding with the Titans if that's the route that they do go, which I agree. I believe that they are going to do. But for this game specifically in Week 13, I think the Colts are going to win this one here on the road, and it should be a good one.
Yeah. So we're both picking Indianapolis. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Is it going to be the Indianapolis Colts? Is it going to be the Tennessee Titans? While you're down there, if you could help Tyler and I reach our goal of getting 2,333 subscribers, that would be much appreciated. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.